हेलो दोस्तों, नमस्कार. I hope you all are good and you will be preparing well for the upcoming second grade examination. Before we appear in any examination, it is imperative for us to analyze the syllabus that is released by the agency. And here we have Rajasthan Public Service Commission. RPSC had recently released syllabus for various subjects, and this time we find some changes, and no doubt these changes were expected. So now let us discuss and make a 360-degree analysis of the syllabus, the new syllabus that has come out. You can find your syllabus is divisible in segments or in parts, like part first, part second, part third. That means we have three parts, and they are now. Let's begin with the part first, secondary and senior secondary standard. Actually, there is no change, because this section you also had in your previous syllabus, and this is a section particularly based on grammar. So through this section, RPSC wants to have an idea about your knowledge of grammar, English grammar. There are some topics well mentioned, and the first is parts of speech. Only 4 parts of speech have been selected here, as you are observing: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. The second is articles and determiners. Third is tenses. Then we come to prepositions, modal auxiliaries, degrees of adjectives, and here in bracket the thing has been specified that we are going to deal with only 2 segments and 2 parts, that is comparative degree and superlative degree. It means we have nothing to do with the positive degree. Then we come to subordination and coordination. Here again we have been given compound and complex sentences, and simple sentences again here missing. Then we come to the next part, that is transformation of sentences. Here 3 subsections have been made. First is affirmative, negative, interrogative, and imperative, and active to passive voice and direct to indirect speech. So these 3 parts or 3 segments come in the umbrella term of transformation of sentences. Then there is some vocabulary parts like phrasal verbs, proverbs, and idiomatic expressions. Words often misspelled and confused. one word substitution, synonyms and antonyms, and phonetic transcription. So these are 14 topics under secondary and senior secondary level, and these 14 topics are completely based on grammar, and this I know you have been studying for a long time, so I don't feel that you would face any kind of problem in dealing with these topics. Then we move to part second of this syllabus, and this is graduation standard. Like earlier, grammar, usage and literature, basic sentence patterns, clause analysis in terms of SVOCA, SPOCA or SVOCA. There is no confusion. Reading comprehension, vocabulary, one passage will be given to you, unseen passage, and some questions will be asked and some questions based on vocabulary. And then a poem will also be given to you and you have to give the answers. Then an acquaintance with literary forms, devices and techniques. This is also the old one, the same section that we earlier had. There are some literary terms, literary forms, devices or techniques that we use while writing poems, like simile, metaphor, personification, pun, hyperbole, alliteration, onomatopoeia, sonnet, ode, elegy, ballad, soliloquy, dramatic monologue, and stream of consciousness. So again, these are the 14 terms which include literary forms, devices, and techniques. Then we move to the fourth subsection of this, an acquaintance with major literary periods. Here we are given a total 7 periods, and beginning from Renaissance, metaphysical, Jacobean, neoclassical, romantic, Victorian, and modern. Earlier we also had postmodern and some other literary period, but this time RPSC had decided to keep only 7. An acquaintance with major literary movements, Romanticism, Gothic, Pre-Raphaelite movement, Realism, and Existentialism. So here we have 5 literary movements which we are expected to go through and to get the knowledge of them. Now, the major change comes from this point number 6. Now this time RPSC has prescribed some text, some poems, and this time we are expected to go through the text composed by different poets, and here we have the poets from English literature as well as Indian English writings. Like this begins with William Shakespeare and sonnet number 30, John Milton on his 23rd birthday, John Donne, The Sun Rising, John Dryden, A Song for St. Cecilia's Day, William Wordsworth, The Solitary Reaper, John Keats, A Thing of Beauty, Robert Browning, The Last Ride Together, Alfred Lord Tennyson, Ulysses, T.S. Eliot, The Love Song of J. Alfred Foucault, Pablo Neruda, Keeping Quiet, Niji Magical. From here, Indian poets start, Night of the Scorpion, Kamala Das, My Mother at 56, Arun Polatkar, The Bus, and Arvindo, The Pilgrim of Night, and Toru Dutt, Our Castle in a Tree. So here you find that you are expected to go through these individual poems from these various poets. And here we have some almost 10 poets of English literature and 5 poets from Indian writings in English, that is Indian poets. So this time you are expected to deal with the text, and the question nature of the questions will also be different. You may be asked the textual lines from the text. You may be asked a figure of speech involved in a particular line of a particular poem, or you could also have the theme based questions, and you could also have some of the questions where you would find some missing words and you have to identify which word can fill the gap of the given line, and the line will be taken from a particular poem. So here you need to make a thorough study of the poem and also understand each and every nuance that is involved in the literary creation. So in one way it's good for you because it's not blind as it used to be earlier. You would go through the poem and understand it, and then you will be able to answer the question. After poetry, now we come to the prose section where some of the essayists have been prescribed, like Francis Bacon of Studies, Joseph Addison, Meditations in Westminster Abbey. They are very popular essays. Charles Lamb, My Relations, George Bernard's of Freedom, Alphonse Daudet, The Last Lesson, and Pearl's Buck, The Canon. So here we have some stories as well as some essays. So this is just to judge your knowledge of prose writing. Then we come to the fiction section. Here we have been prescribed 2 novels. One is A Tale of Two Cities, that is from Charles Dickens, and one is Malgudi Days, that is from R.K. Narayan. Drama, we find William Shakespeare, Macbeth, very popular one, and Anton Chekhov, A Marriage Proposal. Then the last section is based on teaching methods or methodology, and again we have the same topics which we had earlier in our syllabus, like basic principles of second language teaching, developing the 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, teaching of language forms, prose, poetry, grammar, composition, approaches and methods of English language teaching, grammar translation method, direct method, structural method, audio lingual method, communication English language teaching, and at last we have evaluation in English language. So in this way, a lot of change has been made by RPSC, and some part of the syllabus has been kept as it was earlier. So I don't think that there is anything to worry about. If you are preparing well, studying well, and devoting your hours in your study, then you can easily win the race of getting your selection. I would like to inform you that I'm just planning to teach online this time. So soon I would come with you with my first class, and that will be based on some poem. I would choose any of them and then I would teach you. And one by one, we would take the topics, and I would make this video lecture, and through YouTube, uh, I hope that you will get some benefit out of it. So this is all about the syllabus which I wanted to share with you, and you must be having some queries or some questions, but this will our journey will continue, and I will appear once again with a teaching topic, and then we will plan what to do next. So thank you very much for your patient hearing. Good luck.